It is 6 p.m. Just waiting for us to get the heads up that we're live as well on our social media. And we are live now. Good evening, everyone. This is Sheena Aline, your Caribbean College Planner and Student Advisor at the Student Center, your official guide to higher education across the Caribbean. I'm back again this week. So remember, it's time for college prep season. And every week from now till down to about November, we are going to be having a series of webinars, plus quite a few in-person events, including our Cup Fest Education Fair, which will be making stops in Barbados, St. Lucia, and Jamaica this October. One of the schools that will be on the road with me attending Cup Fest is Brock University, based out in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. And today's webinar, we are going to focus on what a lot of people ask us questions about scholarships. And I know everybody likes to hear about scholarships. It's money that you can get that you don't have to pay back. It can really serve a purpose in helping you reduce your costs for your education, especially those of you who are thinking of studying beyond your shores. Now, I'm no expert at Brock. Sarah is Brock's expert, and so we're going to focus today on scholarships offered by Brock University. If you were joining us live on Facebook, you can send us your queries to Sarah via the comment section. If you are in the Zoom room with us, and I encourage those of you who might be on live, join us on Zoom as well. Register on the CutFest website for this webinar. You can put your questions in the chat option or the Q&A option located on your Zoom panel. Sarah, handing over to you. Talk to us today about scholarships and what Brock has on offer.
Thank you, Sheena. And good evening, everyone. My name is Sarah, and I'm the International Recruitment Officer at Brock University. Very nice to see you online today, but hopefully I can see some of you in person in October when I'm in Barbados and in Caribbean. It's my pleasure today to share with you some information about what we have to offer at Brock, not just for the programs, but also for the scholarships, where I can say this is one of the most popular questions that I have on the road, where all our international students want to know what are different scholarships, what are financial aids that we can have. But before I go to our scholarships offers, I just want to give you some information about Brock University. So if you can have a look at the map on the screen, you can see that we are the only public university in the Niagara region. If you know the Niagara Falls, you will be able to see that we are just about 20 minutes from the Niagara Falls. And we are only 30 minutes to the Buffalo, which is the US border. And we are about like an hour from Toronto, the biggest city in Ontario. This location, I usually tell students that this is the best location for you to study and to enjoy the culture of Canada, because here, when you are not too far from big cities, you still can travel to Toronto whenever you want to shopping, or you want to attend some of the concert festivals, but then it's peaceful enough for you to enjoy the Canadian life, to enjoy the beautiful nature around you, and especially the cost of living is much cheaper than living in big cities like Toronto. Right now at Brock University, we have more than 19,000 students on campus, and we welcome students from more than 110 countries around the world. We are very proud to be #1 in Ontario for student satisfaction. And one of the figure that we are very proud of is that 96% of our graduate students can find a job after they graduate. And of course, as an international student, when you come to study in Canada, you might want to find a good job after you graduate. Here at Brock, 96% of our students can find a job after they graduate. We are also very famous for our mental health services. We are #1 in Canada for mental health services, and we are #2 in academic advising. Brock University is more trying to focus on the student experience than like just looking at the research or looking at the ranking. This is just to say we try our best to accommodate as much as we can for international students so that you will feel like you are away, like Brock is like a home away from home. So we have a lot of different programs, different support for international students, especially for Caribbean students. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the scholarships for Caribbean students, but I just want to mention one new thing that just happening last year at Brock is that we have something we call Black Student Success Center. And the Black Student Success Center is actually a new center supporting Black students. And we do have a Brock Caribbean club. And it was hosted by a student from Trinidad, and they have a lot of support for Black students. If you have any questions about, I don't know how to write an assignment, I don't know what course I should choose, I need some career guidance, I need to find a part-time job, I want to have a work permit after I graduate, what should I do? So all of those questions, all of those inquiries, you can go to our Black Student Success Center. So this is a very new initiative that Brock has created for Black students and especially for Caribbean students. Here is the list of our undergraduate and postgraduate offers. I won't be able to give you details of all the programs here, but I would say most of the popular programs that usually Caribbean students are interested, you can find at Brock University. We have a very famous nursing program where we don't have any limit on the number of international students. So if you are a student, if you want to apply for nursing, if you meet our prerequisites, you will be accepted. Sport management, we are #1 in sport management in Canada. We are also very popular with our Bachelor of Accounting, where you can have the shortest route to the CPA, or you can apply to our Business Administration BBA. If you don't have math, which I believe many of Caribbean students didn't do math at Cape level, you can apply to our Business Communication, and then you can transfer to Business Administration in year 2. And of course, all of those programs have co-op options for you. And here is something you are more concerned about, that is about the tuition fee and the cost. Right now, the international tuition fee at Brock University is about 39,000 to 41,000 Canadian dollars. We do offer and guarantee residence if you want to stay on campus residence. And all the students who stay on campus will have the dining, which is the meal plan included. So adding up all the international tuition fee, the on-campus residence and dining, the mandatory ancillary fees, and some of the textbooks fees, the total anticipated cost might be around 58,000 to 60,000 Canadian dollars per year. Now, many students think about, oh, that's a huge amount of money, so how can I come to Brock to study? Actually, at Brock, every year we spend more than 4 million Canadian dollars for scholarships giving out to students every year. So we have so many different scholarships, and we have many automatic scholarships and many competitive scholarships. Now, the first automatic scholarship is the Brock Scholars Awards. This scholarship, you don't have to do anything. Once you apply, we will based on your GPA and give you the scholarship accordingly. For example, if your GPA is from 90 to 94.9%, you will have $7,600 per year. You will have $1,900 per year, and then you will have $7,600 for 4 years. We will we will give out this scholarship for all 4 years. And as long as you can maintain your GPA at Brock of 80% every year. The biggest Brock Scholars Awards is 3,400 Canadian dollars per year. So you will have up to 13,600 Canadian dollars for 4 years. The second automatic scholarship is the Brock University Global Reach Award. This scholarship, again, you don't have to do anything. You just simply need to be the first 10 students who accept the offer letter in an academic year from your region. Then you have 1,500. You will be in the region of USA and Caribbean. So as long as you are among the first 10 students, you will automatically be given this scholarship. The third automatic scholarship is the International Curriculum Award. And I'm pretty sure all the students in Caribbean who do CAPE in this, who do CAPE will have this scholarship, because this scholarship will give out to any international students do any of the international curriculums, for example, A-level, IB, IP, CAPE, or French baccalaureate. So again, 1,000, and you don't have to do anything. Now, all of these automatic scholarships, you can combine together. So for example, if you have like CAPE and you have 90% of your GPA and you are among the first 10 students, easily you can have around like 5,000 Canadian dollars automatically without doing anything. Now we have some other competitive scholarships, and I'm going to give you, oops, sorry. Just wait a second. So we are going to have an International Student Ambassador Award, which is an award for international students up to 10 students every year. And the International Student Ambassador Award will be opened in February every year, and the deadline is in April, usually in April. I'm going to give you a little bit more information of this International Student Ambassador Award later on in my next slide. Before I just go back to some of the scholarship, I just want to give you some more information that I believe it will be something that I can see many Caribbean students asking me about the master programs, because this is also related to the scholarship. We do have some graduate programs, and we have master programs for international students. For example, MBA or Master of Professional Accounting, which we don't require GMAT or GRE for international students. And we still have the co-op options for students if you want to work after you study. And then when it comes to the funding of the graduate programs, at Brock, we have quite a few graduate fundings for you. For example, we have graduate fellowship. And you can see here, if you apply for a master program, the graduate fellowship at Brock usually is about 15,000 Canadian dollars per year. And if you are applying for an assistantship, usually it is teaching assistant job. So if you are successfully accepted as a teaching assistant, then your rate will be $33.72 per hour. And this is nearly double the minimum wage in Canada right now. So I will just want to give you this idea. This is the tuition fee for one term as a master student. So you can see here the tuition fee is about 6,700 Canadian dollars per term. So let's say if you have to study 2 terms or three terms for a master program, depending on the program. Then if you have a graduate fellowship, usually it's for 3 terms. The graduate fellowship can like cover pretty much your tuition fee. And if you have an assistantship, then you can cover your living expenses in Canada. So this is something I usually tell students, if you want to find a graduate program, look at Brock, because we have quite a few funding for your graduate degree. I'm going to share another one. Just wait a second, because this one is just for
And not to interrupt you, Sarah, sorry, but I can actually attest to some of our students actually at Brock in master's programs that have received funded at Brock. And actually we have one that is awaiting just a visa clearance to start a PhD at Brock. And most of their studies are funded out of the offer because they did the masters at Brock, got funded, and then it invited them to do their doctorate. And I think there are lots of advantages to international students who want to seek higher learning beyond the bachelor's. And in certain program areas, I won't want to disclose much about that student because that's for privacy, but I've seen this for quite a few students that decided to make Brock their home for their grad studies. It was a process to get in because it's grad studies, so there's a certain level of certain requirements, but it was actually they ended up spending way less than they had envisioned. So I could definitely attest to this from some of the students that we have worked.
Exactly. And like, because I just want to give all the information of all the scholarships before I give like maybe the best route for international students to get those funding, because obviously it has always been the scenario that people want to have the funding from the graduate programs. But then like as an international student, and I'm pretty sure you have some students as well, it's much easier for international students to be here at Brock at the bachelor level, and then they will be accepted very easily to the graduate
Yes.
level.
Yes, I
So
definitely have seen that. I have seen that for sure.
yeah, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that after I give you all the information about the scholarship. But like, this is the first time I touch on the funding for graduate programs, because I can see that many students are interested in this. But then to be honest, it's not easy for international students to have the funding directly for their graduate program, but it's easier for international students to be here at an undergraduate level program, and then they will be easier to get a funding for the graduate program. But then we will discuss it in the Q&A session later on, okay? So I'm going back with my information about some of the competitive scholarships at Brock. So as I just mentioned, the International Ambassador Awards is something right now is the biggest scholarship for international students at Brock. And every year we will give out to 10 international students, and it will be open in February, and the deadline is usually April 1st. What we need actually is very easy. We just need a completed application form. We have an application form for the scholarship, and you just need to fill in the application form. And then you will need to endorsement letter from someone that can nominate you, maybe your former teachers, your boss, or like whoever can tell something about you. And of course, it's not your parents. And the last thing that we will require from this scholarship is a 2 to 5 minutes video describing why you feel you want to be an ambassador at Brock. So again, it's not something too difficult. It's not something that you have to show off your academic things, but then it's something to show that you want to be an ambassador at Brock University. Last year, we had one student from Caribbean having this scholarship, and she's from Trinidad. So don't worry, just apply because this is just for international students. As I just mentioned earlier, we have a very special Caribbean international scholarship, and this is just for you guys. Every year we have 2 Caribbean international scholarships giving out to 2 first-year undergraduate students. So if you are from any of the Caribbean islands and you apply to Brock, you can apply for this scholarship. Again, not many people know about this scholarship. So to be honest, last year, we gave out just 1 scholarship to 1 Caribbean students because many students didn't know about that. So I hope this year, more students know about this Caribbean International Scholarship, and you can have this 4,000 Canadian dollars very easily. Besides those 2 scholarships, we have many other bursaries or awards depending on the programs that you are applying, the faculty, the schools that you are in. And we put all other scholarships in one place that we call one app. You can see this one app when you apply to Brock. You can access to the student portal, and you can see this one app in your student portal. And here are some of the example. If you can have a look at the corner of my slide, you will be able to see this is the example of what are the awards or bursaries that you can apply. It can be varied in the number of awards, and it can be varied in the amount of the awards. But then you can apply to as many as you wish. They will ask you some questions. For example, are you an entrance student, or are you a continuing student? What faculty, what schools are you in? What is your application status? What is your major? So they will ask you some questions, and after you answer all the questions, it will list down the list of all the scholarships that you can apply. Many students have many small scholarships, 1,000, 2,000, and when you add up all of them, it can be easily like going up to 5 to 10,000 Canadian dollars. So that's a huge amount of money. I think that's pretty much everything about the scholarship at Brock right now. And before coming back to the questions, I just want to discuss a bit with Sheena about something I just mentioned earlier about how students can get some fundings from our master programs. So many students think that they just want to go to Canada for the graduate programs. But then when you look at some of the options at Brock, I can show you back to my previous slides. I can show you this one. So if you can have a look here, for example, if you want to study a Master of Accounting at Brock, usually the Master of Accounting at Brock is 20 months, so it's usually 2 years. But then if you have a Bachelor of Accounting, then you can apply for our Master of Accounting, we call Accelerated Master of Accounting. And then the Master of Accounting, you just need to have 8 more months. So the Master of Accounting is significantly shortened because you have a Bachelor of Accounting. Similarly, if you have completed a Bachelor of Nursing or you have studied a bachelor degree somewhere related to nursing, related to medical sciences, anything that you have learned about something related to health sciences, then you can go to our concurrent degrees. And it's just 5 terms or 20 months. And then you will have something similar to our Bachelor of Nursing and a Master of Nursing. So those are some examples just to give you an idea that like to give you an idea to think about, should you go straight to a graduate program or you go to a transfer program? Because when you think about the time, if you go to a master program, if you go to a graduate program, the time that you have to spend is similar to a transfer program. This is just like 2 examples that I just want to give you, but then there are still many other examples that you can take. But then when you think about the cost and about the job opportunities that you can have when you are in Canada, it will be very different, because you can think of how much money you can have for funding when you study a graduate degree at Brock. But then it's not easy for international students to have 15,500 Canadian dollars for the graduate fellowships, just simply because you don't have any Canadian experience. You haven't been here at Brock. No one knows you. No one knows that like if you are good or not to get into the program. So it's very difficult for international students to get this fellowship. But then if you have studied here at Brock in a bachelor degree, in a bachelor level, you know all the professors, you know all the friends, then whenever you have, you need the endorsements letter, you need the reference letter, there will be someone willing to tell you this is something that is good for you, and then you can get the funding. So think about it when you think about going to study a graduate program at Brock University. We do accept transfer students, and we will accept based on a case-by-case basis. So we will look at the programs that you've done, and then we will calculate how many credits you can transfer to Brock. And maybe you just need to complete maybe 3 or 4 terms to complete a bachelor degree at Brock, depending on how much you have done in your previous institutions. So think about that.
I
Okay,
think
I
that's a
think,
cost-effective way to do this. Can you go back to that slide, Sarah? Because I have a couple follow-up questions. So that
sure.
same slide before. So let's unpack this a little bit more so that people can get a sense of it. So say, for example, I'm studying at University of the West Indies in the Bachelor of Science of Accounting program.
Mm,
And I am in my second year, and then I decided that I want to transfer to another institution. I want to leave. So
mm.
you're saying, as opposed to finishing my 3 year degree or, my 3 year degree at UB to get my Bachelor of Science, I decided I could transfer to your Bachelor in Accounting for and do 2 years technically, because that's 4 terms. So 4 terms is 2 years worth of study. And then I could do an additional 8 months and then get my master's one time,
Yes,
which will still equate to less than spending less money overall than if I had come straight and did a 4 year degree at Brock, in
yeah,
a sense.
yeah.
So that's a nice cost effective way. And then I'm still would me as a transfer student be eligible for scholarships? Because I know sometimes with transfer students, there are not many scholarships for transfers because they spend less time. Would I still be eligible for the ambassador award? Could I still apply for that? I could
Yes.
still.
Yes. So I can say like for Caribbean International Scholarship and for the
Mm-hmm.
international for the International Student Ambassador Award, like they are still eligible for those scholarships. It's just simply because the because the International Student Ambassador Award will be given to students at every year. So like it's not just for the first year student, it can be given to the second year, third year, fourth year students. So at
Oh, wow.
any
Okay.
at any year of entry, student can apply for that
That's
scholarship.
very interesting.
Yeah.
So let's just say that. So for those of you who may be, and it doesn't have to be another bachelor's degree, because I come from my state college or my community college and also apply to that bachelor's of accounting from my associate degree program.
Yes. So I believe we have some students that completed the Barbados Community College and they
Yeah.
want to transfer to Brock University.
Mm-hmm.
The reality is that we do accept those students to transfer to Brock. Again, it depending on the programs that they
Mm-hmm.
did at
Mm-hmm.
Barbados Community
Mm-hmm.
College, and then we will calculate the number of credits that they can transfer to Brock. But don't worry, because we will tell you how many credits you can transfer
Okay.
right at the time you have the offer letter. So you can make the decision before you
Mm-hmm.
pay deposit. You don't have to pay deposit to know the number of credits that can
Because
be
that was going to be
transferred.
the next question I asked you, because sometimes for some schools, that is the case where you don't find out until after you pay. And then some students are a little bit annoyed at not getting the amount of transfer credits that they would have expected or hoped to get. So it's good that you will give, give them a
Yeah.
heads up on that so that they can definitely make a decision. No, that was the accounting one, but the nursing one is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that nursing is a sought in demand occupation, not just in Canada, but across the globe.
Mm.
So becoming a nurse is really strategic and it gives you a lot of great upward mobility as well as transnational mobility. So for that concurrent program, can you unpack that a little bit and tell us how that works? So I need to have a full bachelor's degree to apply to that program.
Yes. So the idea of this program is actually for students who have completed a bachelor degree anywhere around the world, and you want to come to study in Canada, and then you want to be a doctor in Canada, because like in order to get into a medical school in Canada, it will be very difficult for international students, and usually
Mm-hmm.
international students have to start all over again. Now, this program, the concurrent degrees in nursing at Brock, they allow international students who have a bachelor degree
Mm-hmm.
can come here to study 5 terms, which is usually about 20 months. And then you will have something like Bachelor of Nursing or Master of Nursing. And then you can take the exam to become a registered nurse. And then you will be able to work in Canada after 20 months, which is much shorter than you start
Yeah.
over again a
Okay.
new Bachelor of Nursing. So that's the whole
Right.
idea of this program.
And it doesn't have to be necessarily coming with a bachelor degree in nursing, but something health
No,
related.
no, we do have some requirements. For example, students will need to have some courses related to
Hmm.
biology. I
Hmm.
mean, something related to health sciences, but it's not necessarily to be the Bachelor of Nursing.
Okay.
I can share
Right.
you the link. I can share you the link after this event. Actually, you know
But-
what? I can share my screen now, and then I can share some of the informations for you and the students.
And even for the Bachelor of Nursing slash Master Nursing program that you can still apply for, are you still eligible for any of these scholarships that you just highlighted?
So, because it's the concurrent degrees in nursing is considered like a graduate program.
Hmm.
So, like any graduate programs, any
Mm-hmm.
funding for the graduate programs, you can apply.
Okay, great. That is very good to know. So not just undergrad, but there are opportunities at the graduate level.
Yeah.
So those of you who joined us on Zoom and those who are watching in on Facebook, this is Understanding Scholarships, and we're highlighting Brock University in this evening's webinar. This webinar is going to run every month. We're going to do one of these webinars every month down to November before we take a break for Christmas. And so this evening, we're highlighting Brock and all of their scholarship opportunities for students, particularly if you are going to need a visa or a study permit to attend, considering yourself an international student, to help bring possible opportunities for you to reduce your entire cost of study.
Okay, so I'm sharing my screen right now. And you can see this is the conference degrees in nursing. And if you can scroll down, you will see this is a course-based program and it's just 5 terms or 20 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is the admission requirement.
Right.
So you will be able to see that have completed a 4-year degree, and it can be like non-nursing degree, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And it can be from an accredited university or equivalent with a minimum average of 75 over the
In the
final
last
2 years.
years
Yes,
study, yeah.
yes. And
Mm-hmm.
this is the list of the courses
Courses.
that you must have, you should have, because this is something like you need to have it in order to have the conference degrees. So for example, introductory psychology,
Mm-hmm.
developmental psychology, human anatomy, human physiology,
Physiology,
microbiology,
biology,
statistics, research
statistics,
methods.
right.
So like anyone who are interested in nursing or interested in medical sciences, those are quite like popular courses in those areas.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's good to know. And so I have some questions related to some of those scholarships and the students who are looking for 2025 to be in that, to at least be eligible for any of those scholarships. What's the latest they can apply or how early they should apply?
So if they are thinking of applying for 2025, to be honest, right now we haven't opened for September 2025 yet. So
Mm-hmm.
I would say the soonest that they can apply is usually in October 2024 when we
Yeah.
open the fall 2025 intake.
Mm-hmm.
But if they want to apply for winter 2025, which is January intake, we are opening right now. So you can apply right now.
And are
Um,
those scholarships available for winter starts as well, or are those scholarships only available for fall starts?
So those scholarships usually open all year round. Like all the
Okay.
automatic scholarships
Mm-hmm.
are like for whichever intake.
Okay.
And like the International Student Ambassador Award, you have to apply in February, and then you will
Okay.
have the result usually by May. The Caribbean International Scholarship, you usually will be able to see it around this time. So it's about like July, August, and then you can apply it for September.
Okay, and that's really good to know. I think what puzzles me sometimes seeing students walk through this process is how they walk away from scholarship, applying for a scholarship. Like to take the effort just to put in the video together, doing the essay, because it just takes a little time for you to sit down and complete this process. Um, and it's amazing how you get a lot of questions about scholarships. And yes, there's some that are automatic, which is great, but then obviously the bigger the scholarship, the more you have to do. And then there are always conditions with the scholarship. So if you are looking for scholarships to help as part of your financial planning, so financial planning should not just be heavily scholarship reliant. But if you are leaving a little bigger room for some scholarship money in there, be prepared to put in the effort to apply for the scholarships. I've seen too many students walk away from an opportunity to apply for a scholarship because it takes an essay or it takes a video, it takes a little extra something, a little extra time to submit paperwork, and then you forget deadlines. So there's scholarships are there for the taking. Brock has several. There's some you have to do absolutely nothing, just have good grades. But then there's some that require a little bit more. And I know you talked about the automatic ones that they could be stacked, but if you get the international one, that can't be stacked with the automatic, can it?
The only automatic scholarship that can be stacked with the International Ambassador Award
Mhm.
is the Brock Scholars Award.
It's a Brock
So
Scholar.
yeah, so the academic one.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. And how long does it take for students to hear back for if they apply to the International Ambassador Award? How long would it take for them to make a decision?
So usually, as I said, the application usually open on February,
Mm-hmm.
in February, and then usually the deadline to submit the application is April. Then
It's
usually
April.
we will spend a month to choose the 10 awards, the 10 international students. So usually students will hear from us
Mhm.
usually by May, latest
By by
end
May.
of May.
Okay.
Yeah,
And usually around that time students start making decisions. So that ties
exactly.
in pretty
Exactly.
well.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't see any more. I don't see any more questions, but Sarah, I want to thank you for bringing all this information to us today. So for those of you who are now looking at your options going forward for 2025, whether it be in January, because Brock is taking students for January, or you're going to be coming in more popular start date, which is September 2025, Brock has quite a number of scholarships, many of which are automatic. All you have to do is meet the GPA requirement. There's some specific to the Caribbean, so and we haven't had many taking up that opportunities because I don't know why. So let's take advantage of that. And then Sarah just showed us some other smart options, especially if you are looking at accounting or nursing, which are very two sought after in demand fields among Caribbean students, how you can do so at Rock and earn a bachelor's and a master's within a very short time frame, saving you some time and some money. You can talk about this with Sarah in person at CupFest, which is going to be in October. You can meet her on the floor. CupFest is making stops in Barbados, St. Lucia, and Jamaica. Learn more and see which country Sarah will be in. Definitely check out our website, www.cupfestinternational.com. More details about our upcoming in-person fairs are going to be there in the coming weeks. And for those, if you can't see us in person, if you're not in any of the countries we're going to, CupFest is all year round. It's an online platform. You can still see schools like Sarah, like at Brock. We have our weekly webinars. We're going to have another scholarship webinar next month. So definitely keep checking our events page on the CupFest website as well. I want to thank those who joined us on Zoom and those who peeked in on Facebook. Thank you very much. Sarah, hold on for me. To everyone who attended, have a good evening. Next week, I am back and we're going to talk about smart pathways to engineering. And we're going to show you some smart options depending on the different kind of circumstances you may be coming from. So next week, Wednesday at 6 p.m., join me where we talk about how to get your engineering degree smartly. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, everyone.